Cha 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 cha. What is going on, you guys? Lord Rugzilla here with Dollar Cost Crypto. What's going on? Beautiful, beautiful. Shoo! Shit, man. Hey, I wanted to do a little special thing, man. I'm gonna throw the Miguel elbows in the house. What's going on? This one legitimately made me. This comment here really made me laugh, man. If Miguel drops the elbows like Hogan, does that mean Charlie is Macho Man Randy Savage? Probably. I'm throwing up the link right now. Here's the StreamYard, you guys. Anyone who wants to come on. Let's go. Shit. Let's talk the market for a little bit. Oh, the shades are coming, man. The shades are coming. I'm saving them for the streams. But for sure, man, today's stream is called either Rope or Cope. Rope or Hope. Beautiful. What's up, Hextoshi? What's going on, dude? Woo! Eerie, thank you, man. Super chats are now enabled on my channel, which is awesome. So, thank you. Greetings from Brazil. Wow, just enjoyed the roll. Oh, thank you, man. Glad to have you, man. This course is going to be very, very, very interesting. Háblanos del mercado. Sure, yeah, I'll be talking about the market right now. Yeah, we'll go over the coin market cap list and then nomics and all this other jazz and stuff right now in a minute, and put some of these woes to rest. I'm still really, really bullish on the market right now. Things are going to start picking up pretty soon. Like I've said before, as long as the EIP 1559 ships were in the green, basically, there's just so much good news with that happening on. It's basically a triple happening for Ethereum in one day. Super chat enabled, but Litecoin keeps rugging himself. How so, Rainier? Dude, okay. So let's see right here. All right. Oh, okay. So there is, okay. So yeah. So for guys who don't know, we typically were doing a Saturday show with Donovan Sharp, and that was called Crypto Oasis. And what's going on is, I don't want to get too much into detail, but there's this hater ass group that doesn't like Donovan because of some old beef from a long time ago. I'll just keep it at that. It's pretty bad, honestly, in terms of like they're fucking retarded. But so every time he streams at all, they wait until me and Charlie go on because crypto's a little more risque, and they spam it up, and then he loses his channel. And then what he does is then contacts his lawyers. His lawyers get his channel back because it's like, oh, this is bullshit. Yeah, and that's what happens pretty much. So yeah, it really sucks because Donovan's really helped support us for a long time and stuff. He's a really cool dude, and yeah, we'll keep doing the show as much as he wants, but at the same time, we're trying to make sure to get his channel banned and stuff. He has 100,000+ subscribers on YouTube. That took him a long time to build. So we're just trying to play it. If he just tells us we can't do this anymore, then we'll stop because But there's just these haters from the black pill. Fucking losers. They're very smart. It's a very smart crowd. It's really smart people. It just, I'm not with that whole not having hope thing, But yeah. Let's see here. Miguel, have you or anyone in your space talked about how the FBI recovered lost? Oh, it's sus as fuck. They definitely did it to themselves. Come on. They recovered it. Okay. Sure. I don't believe that for a fucking second. Yeah, they're a little too smart for their own good, honestly. It's just a tough sort of thing as well. I mean, obviously we're here to talk about crypto and stuff, but like I know a lot of you guys come from the red pill space, so you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. For the guys that don't, right, I would probably start with Rollo Tomasi's book, the Rational Male, to learn. And oh, my man, just had someone join in the green room. My man, heck yeah. But there. I would start with Rollo Tomasi and probably go from John to Entrepreneurs in Cars and Donovan Sharp to get your knowledge from there, and just venture out and just be careful. You need to learn the red pill first before you learn the black pill. So it's almost like people when it's this group of people that fall into despair, basically, that they learn the truth. So it's like in the Matrix, right? You take the red pill or the blue pill, right? You either come on or you come off, right? And what ends up happening is they take the red pill and their body rejects it. Basically, they go a little crazy and they get depressed. They go through the 5 stages of grief and they just stay in despair. Basically, they have no hope. They understand all the stuff about the red pill. They could use it to their advantage, and they don't. And they just let it, like, I'm just too ugly. I won't ever get better. I'm always going to be chatted by somebody, size Chad, money Chad, I cucked or whatever. But it's pretty funny. Here, I'm gonna bring up my guests, man. So first things up, I got Dave Dodge, man. What's going on, dude?
Yeah, I survived a couple of dips there.
Still kicking, I see.
Yes, I'm still kicking. And the thing that you warned us about regarding the sending stuff to the wrong addresses.
Yep.
I paid my homage to the crypto god.
Oh no. Yeah, you have to be really careful. That's always check the first 4 and the last 4. Always.
Always did, but I don't know how the address got into the send location. So,
right.
Fortunately, the crypto I lost was bought during the dip, so it wasn't as big a as big a bite. But
yeah,
it will go down.
Yeah, that's yeah. I sent some serum to Patrick or to Wasabi the other day, and man, that hurt. Yeah, I don't know. I checked both of the things. I checked them both, right? And for some reason, it got sent to some other address. I don't know how, but I've never even used that address. It's a crazy thing.
That's the same thing happened to me. Basically, it's like that's not even any of my addresses.
Yeah,
where did it come from? So Hex has been very nice to me so far. That's the only coin I've been able to de-risk, and it's like quadrupled.
Oh, it's been beautiful, man. Oh, and let me let the guys and the guests back. So we got Machiavelli. What's going on? And we got my man Erie. What's going on, dude?
Erie, yeah.
How's it going?
Good, man. Good. Yeah, Hex has been on a tear, dude, and it's gonna keep running basically up until. I mean, even at the launch of Pulse, it's pretty much gonna be very bullish for about a month and a half to 2 months. Once the sacrifice phase gets activated, it's still bullish. So it's gonna be bullish for a good quarter, maybe even quarter and a half. So that's really good. So it's been really nice for all the Hexicans who've been holding for a while, and even Celsius held up really well too. It didn't go down.
Yeah, I moved some ETH down there to earn some interest.
Yeah. Someone just asked me if I've taken the God pill. Yes, sir. I believe in my Lord Jesus Christ. You know. There you go. Wait, I can't even show it. There you go.
And the compliment to the Miguelbos.
Yes. So Machiavelli, I don't think I've ever talked to you. What's going on, man? On stream, at least.
Yeah, not much. Just riding this wave of wonderful Hex gains. I don't know. just loving life.
Well, I'm kind of debating on when to take some more profit and how much to leave in as it goes up.
Right.
I was going to kind of target about 12 cents and take some money off the table and go park it somewhere and see how everything else
12 cents is not a bad range. 12 cents is not a bad range. I'd take a little off if you don't have any stakes or anything like that. But you also have to have that conversation with yourself, or are you going to get into Pulse as well, which could be an opportunity to make some more money down the line. Because Pulse, I expect Pulse to probably hopefully not, but I think what's going to happen is it's going to get oversubscribed, which is really good. That means more players in the game, but I think it's going to be it might just go up a little bit for the first day and then just crash down and then find its bottom, and then from there it's just rocketing from there.
I don't have enough to have anything staked, so I'm just going to hold and wait and learn, and then see where I can take advantage of it later down once people kind of understand what it's doing.
Right. I mean, if you guys have any questions, you guys can ask me. I mean, I'm going to answer all this stuff inside the course for you guys that are going to sign up to the course. I've got a whole webinar just on Pulse and Hex, basically. You don't really need to understand Hex to get into Pulse, really, but it is good to learn about the whole Hex side as well. I mean, it's something that I've been talking about since the first course. I think during the how much was Hex? Hex was probably 22% of a penny in Q4, I think, September. Maybe 55% of a penny. So today it's up about 16 to 25 times since the first course. Yeah, that's not including APY or interest payments.
Well, that's where I want to learn. That sounds like a long-term savings plan.
Yeah, I would probably wait before staking. I would honestly, unless you have a very large amount of Hex starting off. If you're already Hexican who already had a lot of Hex and you staked, that's perfectly fine. But if you don't have any Hex right now, I would wait to see how it shakes out with Pulse and Hex to then do your stakes. It is nice though when you do have stakes when the something called the snapshot happens for Pulse. You will keep your stakes on Ethereum Hex and then also get an exact copy on Pulse Hex. So you kind of double up on your stakes there. So it is kind of a way to play it. But right now, even though I know the gas fees are really low right now, the S load got increased significantly. I think it increased almost like 2.8 times before the Berlin fork. And when Ethereum first pump up in price, it's going to cost an arm and a leg to unstake stakes. So basically, you would need to be staking somewhere close to 60,000 to 100,000 Hex to make sure that you have enough economic mass where the interest payments plus that doesn't you don't lose money on those stakes.
Well, I'm not going to. I don't have that big a chunk up there to play with. So remember, I was started out with a limited cap on everything. So I'm.
Yeah. Just so I'll get more into this in the course and stuff, everything. But in terms of where I see tops out for Hex this year, 50 cents to $1 are on the table. Wow. 50 cents is more likely. But in terms of how long it'll take to reach that, I mean, it all depends. I have to see the numbers on the first day of the sacrifice chamber. Or sacrifice Motley. Motley keeps calling it the sacrifice chamber. Well, okay, the sacrifice chamber, the first day. Yeah. To see how much people are how much liquid Hex is going to be around. I mean, because there's going to be very little bit of liquid Hex after the full month of the sacrifice chamber. That during the snapshot phase, you could have a giant price rally and stuff and everything like that. And even though I'm in a lot of the groups in the back talking about Pulse and everything like that, Richard still hasn't released all the details, and we're coming up with game theory and stuff for it. But I'm just going to give you guys basically the most information that I have at this current time, and then go from there. Basically, things could change because if Richard says it's going to be this, and this, and that's it. I mean, personally, I'm going off the math that I think only 20% of the supply of Pulse is going to be released in the beginning. Because that's what in terms of, I'm just looking at the average competitor when it comes out, usually it's about 9 to 10% of the total supply gets released. So I don't know why it's always like 18, 19% of the total supply. And then the rest of it gets farmed out for liquidity, for incentives. So there's going to be incentivized like yield farming on Pulse itself. So there's probably going to be something like an Ethereum to Pulse bridge, where if you stake both Pulse and Ethereum, you're going to receive a Pulse as a yield reward, which is kind of cool. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff to be doing in this project and stuff too. So, but knowing Richard and stuff, he knows how to pump these things up pretty well and stuff too. So I think it's gonna be a cool ride.
Hey, one thing I'm gonna ask you about that, because I'm not an expert on Pulse, but those tokens that get sent to the sacrifice, at least the Hex tokens, do those get burned, or what gets happen to those after they get sent to the sacrifice address?
Yeah, there was a good Hex Clips on that one. If you follow Hex Clips, they clipped him. He was with the dude with the spiky shoulder pads. I forget who that was exactly, but there's a clip where he talks about how what if that sacrifice address went to somebody who didn't want to sell Hex? So it's just like, okay, you send all this Hex to this address, and then it's just, you know, basically, I mean, could be like in the OA's address or whatever. So it's just like, it's not getting, you know, dumped on your head, unlike the, you know, big payday. So it's like an advancement from the big payday, because big payday actually gave everyone the tokens to dump on people's heads. But now this is going to the sacrifice address, which is, you know, not going to be dumping on your head. So it's like an advancement in game theory from big payday. So
this is what, at least what I know about where the money's going. Where did the ETH go, right? That's an OG Hex joke and shit. So so there's going to be a use for all the coins. So people who sacrifice Hex, there's going to be somewhere where they put that money. Then there's also going to be the other. So some people can use Doge, Ethereum, USDC, Tether, basically any major crypto, ADA, any major cryptocurrency that they sacrifice to get Pulse. That money will be pulled up, sold for Ethereum, and used for the bridge to provide liquidity between Ethereum and Pulse. That's what that money is going to be used for. The money for Hex does not, like, Richard is really smart when it comes down to this. He does not put incentives out there to dump tokens. A lot of people always have a consistent kind of thing where like they keep losing their, like they keep having events where people dump tokens, or like the average, like, okay, something really stupid that like Shiba Inu did, right? Let's give 1/6 or 50% of the supply of Shiba Inu to Ethereum to Vitalik for free. Here you go, bro. And then once it became like $1 billion, he was like, man, I'm donating this, and then just destroyed the price of Shiba Inu and a bunch of these other tokens and stuff. So this whole thing where like if you give too many tokens for free to these outside entities that don't have your best thing at heart, they'll, and no pun intended, but then they'll destroy your token because, you know, why not, right? So it's this whole, a lot of people do some really stupid things like giving a ton of free tokens to people, right? So like one thing Bitcoin Cash did, right, which I understand sort of why they did it, but it was kind of a bad move where they were like, hey, you guys, we're going to give a free copy. Everyone who we're going to copy all the Bitcoin and give it over to everybody else who controls their own keys. Okay, cool. And then what did everyone do? Cool. Look at all this free money. They sold it for Bitcoin and helped destroy the price of Bitcoin Cash over time. Because you had a bunch of people that just were holding a ton of it and just decided to sell it over time. Some people got it, literally waited 1 year, and then started to dump it because it was long-term capital gains. So you had the people who sold it right away, and then you had people who just like over time kept selling it. And then the people who provided liquidity were the guys who were like, no, this is going to flip Bitcoin. When those guys were providing liquidity for the big Bitcoin whales that just basically got a bunch of free money. And that's kind of what happened. But, oh yeah, so for the Hex side, right? So this is off of what Richard said. They're planning to make a grayscale type fund with the Hex. So all that Hex is going to be staked for 15 years, 15.2 years, and then sold as shares. And then people can buy and sell shares like sort of like Grayscale can, like Grayscale shares. And they sold on probably the UK and international market, somewhere in Singapore as well. And that's where it's going to be sold as an investment vehicle for retirement funds. And that's pretty much what's going to happen. So that way the shares can be dumped and the price of the shares can go up and down, but they're not actually selling any Hex at all. And then also with some of that money and the interest that they make can be used to then purchase more Hex, which is pretty cool. So that it's a smart idea. He's like, well, if we have to give a way for like institutional buyers to be able to get in on a big chunk. So why not take all this Hex that's going to be put away? So I would say probably half of the liquid supply of Hex is probably going to be sacrificed. So if that's currently like 10%, 5% of the total supply is going to be put out into like this Grayscale type fund, and that Grayscale type fund is going to be sold to institutional investors in Europe and Asia. There you go. Yeah, it's pretty smart. Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah, because I'm also excited for Pulse too, because normally I was just looking back on previous price charts, and we saw Pretty much, like the one thing I'm looking for is the native token, and I'm also looking at whatever is going to be the exchange token.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I was gonna look at the native token and the exchange token. So, like you had Ethereum and Uniswap, you had Binance, and what was the other one? I think it's called PooCoin, POO coin.
PooCoin. Wait, for PooCoin charts?
No, I'm sorry. No, PooCoin is the charts. I'm in Pancake Swap. I keep messing up the two. Pancake Swap, and then you had Matic, and then Quick Swap.
Right.
So then you're gonna have Pulse token, and then whatever is gonna be the exchange.
The Uniswap, the Uniswap, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's gonna be there's all kinds of stuff. We'll talk about that inside the course, you guys, and everything like that, in terms of like that, because that's really a lot of money, and that's also the risky side of that, because you can make a ton of money playing around in the altcoins, but a lot of them are going to go to straight fucking zero. I'm telling you guys. So if you guys just want to play around in this and just make money over time, Hex, Pulse, Pulse, the trifecta right there. That's it. You put a little bit here, a little there, and a little there. You hold on to it and stuff. You just trade them in between each other, or like when one pumps, you can move it. You can, buy the other ones when they're cheap, and that's a good way to play it. And then if one side starts really winning out, you can just sell out and go to the other one. That way you won't be rugged and stuff. But it's probably gonna be Uniswap, honestly, for the swap and shit. So if you guys hold a Uniswap token, just hold it on your MetaMask, and you get a copy of Uniswap, and then they're probably gonna call it Pulse Swap over on the Pulse chain and stuff. So I think that token's gonna have some value personally.
Sounds pretty good.
The Trinity, if you will.
The Holy Trinity. Yeah. Like, share, hit the stream, donate, throw your pennies on the stage. Come on.
So if you've got stuff parked in MetaMask and you've got, say, Hex and Uni, which I do.
Yeah, what you do.
And that's going to be snapshotted and migrated or doubled over on Pulse Chain.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, well then I'm going to leave what I got where it's at.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about it right now. So you don't have to worry about the snapshot until after the sacrifice. So once, like, let's just say as an example, Richard goes sacrifice chamber in 3 hours, bitches, and dips off. Oh shit. We start in 3 hours, and then from there it's probably 30 days until the last day. And then after that point, then it's like we don't know when. It could be in a week, in 2 weeks, in half a month. It could be literally the next day. Snapshot phase. It just depends on when he decides to essentially do a snapshot. But he'll give us a little bit of a heads up. What I would do personally, so you don't miss it, just in case, is after the last day of the sacrifice chamber, have your coins in your MetaMask and in your personal wallets. Do not have any coins on the exchanges. You will get a copy of Celsius. You will get a copy of like Uniswap. You will get a copy of Synthetics. You'll get a copy of every token, every ERC20 token you could imagine is going to get copied over, one for one.
Yeah, to be safe, you want to have it in your MetaMask wallet. But I'm pretty sure that was one of the hesitancies of the release of Pulse Chain, was that Richard Hart said he was trying to get it so you could have it on the exchange.
Right.
So, I mean, you might get lucky, but I mean, safety, you want to have it in your MetaMask wallet if you can.
What about stuff in my my Trezor or my
yeah. It'll work just the same. Yep.
Okay, so I leave it there. I'm fine.
Yeah, you're perfectly fine. Yeah, the thing about Richard and the whole Hex community, it's all about owning your own stuff. So it's full DeFi. So it's the most DeFi token you can. So you have to control your own keys, right? So people. So in a lot of people got free Hex. If I remember right, it's been such a long time. I think you could get 12,000 Hex per Bitcoin that you owned back in the day. Not including an extra bonus or something if you did something else. But it was basically 10,000, 12,000 Hex per Bitcoin. A lot of people didn't get their rewards because they just kept it on exchanges. That's it. Yeah. So I knew dudes that were like borrowing money Bought a fuckload of Bitcoin. Got a bunch of, but it wasn't that. I mean, at the time, if I remember right, I think Bitcoin was probably like 7,000, maybe $7,000 at the time. So you probably had to borrow like $70,000 of Bitcoin just to get 100,000 hex, which today is pretty decent. I mean, that's like two Ethereum, 2.5 Ethereum today. But it took a huge, but at the time it was literally dirt cheap. It was worth less than a Satoshi, literally. Yeah.
Eric, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Eric, the guy in the chat asked how much you sacrifice depends on how much your Pulse Chain coins are worth. Miguel, do you want to respond to that? Or?
Yeah. So okay. So like I said, we'll go more into depth in the course and stuff and everything. But it just to clarify, all right. So this still could change, but from my best knowledge as of yesterday, when you send in, let's just say hex. We'll just use hex as an example. It's at 10 cents. You send a million hex at 10 cents, which is $100,000 at that moment. It will give you a 30-minute weighted average of the price at the time. So you send it in 30 minutes. It stays at 10 cents. You officially have sacrificed $100,000 of value at that point. That's what gets counted for your total, because everything's counting in US dollars at that point. So let me give you another example. Let's just say I donated 1 million hex at 10 cents, and then during that 30 minutes, it wakes up to 20, and then it wakes down to a penny. So what will happen is, if you get the average of that, it'll be 10 cents. So it stops people from trying to play. Like there's gonna be games where people are gonna try to like, oh fuck, I think the chart is telling me that the golden wedge with this golden cross here is for ribbulating all over the universe and stuff with the energies of like Lord Okamono, and the price is probably gonna go up. So you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna put 1 million hex. At this point right now, it's at 3 cents. Oh fuck, it's at 6 cents. Yes, I nailed that shit, motherfucker. And that's what people are gonna try to do. To play the game and stuff. So there's gonna be people trying to spike the price up and down on you. So you could try to sacrifice your hex at 18. Let's just say it wakes up to 18 cents, and by the time your 30 minutes is up, it might be at 12 cents. So you'll get an average of 15, which is still not bad. So it's like so you gotta kind of, if you're gonna sacrifice, you gotta like shoot as fast as you can on the price you want, because it might not be there long enough for you to get the USD value of it. So and I'll get more into all of it and stuff and everything. I don't want to blow my load all over the screen, but there's a lot. It's very simple, but it's very complex. And as you can make this as difficult as you want or as simple as you want. It's just pick your own adventure.
Yeah. So what's the sacrifice? I'm sort of lost on that one.
Oh, you're sending in any cryptocurrency that you'd like, and let's just say you send us $1,000 of USDC. You send it in, you get credited $1,000 of purchasing power on Pulse. So that means when Pulse launches, you will get at that price where you bought it at, you will get those coins in your wallet.
Okay.
It's really simple. Yeah, pretty simple.
So you're basically moving stuff from the Ethereum hex side to the Pulse Chain hex side.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. And then you will have to probably sign the signature with your wallet, and then you will get access to your Pulse wallet over there. So there'll be like imagine it's sort of gonna be like, hey, welcome to Wallet Hub. And then Dave Dodge, gets on his MetaMask and then signs signature. This is my wallet. You sure? Sign here. Yeah, it is. Oh, here you go. Then it's probably going to send you on some prompt where it's like, hey, Dave Dodge, welcome to Pulse Chain EcoStart wallets. So please write down your private keys. And you write it down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, or whatever from many phrases it is. You write down your phrases. You got your password down. Are you sure? Have you copied it down perfectly? Yes, I have. Okay. Have you really sure? Okay. Here you go, Dave Dodge. Welcome to the wide world. Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like that. Yeah.
So I wonder how CoinTracker is going to handle that stuff, because that'll just be a pain in the ass at tax time.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's that's investments for you. I mean, it's like there's precedents for it and stuff in the space. Basically, it just gets valued at what it is. If you don't sell it, you don't pay nothing really.
Yeah.
But you sell it, your cost basis is literally like it would. I guess your cost basis would technically be what you paid for in the thing. So you're gonna have receipts of how much money at the dollar ranges. Yeah. So that would be your cost basis. Let's just say you invested $10,000, and then 3 years later you sell it for like $3 million or $500,000 or $100,000. You would say, well, yeah, okay, Mr. Dave Dodge, you have $90,000 of gains here. You paid this much taxes, long-term capital gains, boom, boom, blow, and you live in a state with no, income tax or no state tax. You're going to pay 37%. Okay, yeah. And that's it. Yeah.
There's a few guys in the chat. One person asks, well, will a version of Pulse be available on the Ethereum chain to be able to buy it on Uniswap? So he's asking, should he sacrifice or just buy it on the market when it becomes available? And then there was another guy who asked, is it too late to buy ETH into Hex? Is it too late to convert some ETH into Hex?
No, it's not too late and stuff. It's just I wish a lot of guys got their coins a little earlier when I was telling guys in, like especially from the last course. I was telling you guys, hey, you guys want to get Hex, get it under 3 cents for the multiples. You still like right now. It's what's it at right now? Here, I'll pull up the chart or I'll pull up the.
It was about 8 cents earlier.
Ah, damn, fuck, man. I try not to look at the prices. They just like nah, it's a little much now. All right, let's see. Yeah, fucking hell, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 9 cents. It actually blipped up to 9 cents.
Yeah, 9 cents. God damn, man.
if you're saying it's going to get up to 50 cents later in the year.
Yeah, you can hold it, but the thing is in order to capitalize on 50 cents or $1 or $2, like so Hex has probably 50 cents to maybe 80 cents maximum this year. Maximum. Yeah. And next year it probably has something close to it might touch $1 to $3 at most that I possibly see. It can hit higher. I just have to see what kind of all right, so there's 15% of the supply staked in stakes right now. And in about, I would say 8 months, that's almost a halfway point to about 2.5 years, which is so the way the system works is let's just say you have a 1 year stake. You have to go into half a year in order to end stake that with no penalties and to get back your principal. So in 2.5 years, if the price of Hex goes to $1, 80 cents, 40 cents, or fucking $10 or something, for all I know, a lot of people are going to emergency end stake a lot of those stakes. So we could have only 2-3% of the supply circulating because so much was sacrificed, and 3-4% just comes out of nowhere from emergency end stakes, and then they floods the market and crashes the price down.
Yeah.
So it's almost, you got to be quick on the trigger. So I mean, honestly, if you hold Hex, you're going to win with it and stuff. I personally think. I mean, I can't. I mean, I've been in Hex since like day one, so it's like, I can't like. What do you like? Proof is in the pudding with Hex and stuff. But
yeah, it's real nice getting a copy on the Pulse chain of all of your stakes. So it's like you're getting 2 for 1 right now if you did a stake. And, with the volatility or the, unknowingness of what the Pulse chain and all of that could provide, like the APY of stakes and getting a copy on the Pulse chain is a nice, peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got that guaranteed APY, and the T-share rate is always, running away from you, especially if the price does go to that, dollar price. The T-share is going to be next to impossible to get. Like, so.
I mean, yeah, and in a year we'll be talking about B shares instead of T shares, 100 billion shares.
Yeah, and those T-shares pay you in Hex. So, you get a T-share out staked 1 year, and then you have a T-share staked out 15 years, and you're getting paid, 6 Hex a day, and that might go up to 10 or 12 hex a day. And then if hex is at $1, it's like, oh, well, I'm getting $12 a day possibly. And then, I mean, the gains from here until $1, like how much is that? Like stupid.
Right. So let's just say, because right now, T-share is about probably like $1,400-$1,500, maybe even more now. I'd have to look at how much it is right now. But let's just say you have 100 T-shares, right? Which might be like literally $100,000 today to have this. So, but just to give you an example, right now the current T-share rate, that means every day you collect interest. So that means, let's just say you have this 100 T-shares, staked 10 T-shares every year for 10 years, just to make it simple. Okay, so you have 10 T-shares coming out every single year. Okay, so what's going to happen is when you have 100 T-shares, what the current rate is 5.6. So it means you're getting 5.6 hex every single day for every T-share you own, passively staked.
At 8 p.m. on my time.
Correct. Yeah, it's 00 UTC time. So it depends on everyone's where they're at. 5 o'clock my time. It's 3 o'clock. You know, as you're on the East Coast, it's 8 o'clock. You know, Mountain time. You know, all that jazz. So you'll basically be earning 500 with 100 T-shares. You'll be earning 560 hex a day passively. So let me multiply that by 365 in a year. You'll earn 200,000 hex passively. That is not including emergency unstake. So you know how I told you guys people will be emergency unstaking their stuff. So here's the game. Here's the fundamentals and the game theory behind it. If somebody let's just see. So if the price of hex shoots up, a lot of people are going to decide to say, "Fuck, man, I've got 100,000 hex staked here for 2 years, and the price is literally at $1." I want my Hellcat. And people are going to emergency unstake their hex, their 100,000 hex. It's like, it's very much here. You know, the people are going to rationalize or do all this, you know, mental gymnastics and stuff, you know, double monkey backflips to get their mind in order to emergency unstake. And here's the jazz. All right, ready? So let's just say you have a 2-year stake that comes undone in 2 years, and it's at 1 year. You unstake it for no penalty, means you lose no principal. But guess what happens? You lose all your interest payments. That interest that you would have got gets transferred over to everybody else equally. So what ended up happening is in 1 year, more than likely in 1 year, you probably get something close to maybe like 20,000 extra hex, probably. Maybe 5,000 extra hex. Just depends. It's very hard to calculate this part of the thing because it all depends on market dynamics.
Yeah, it's a little interesting with because that price isn't going to be realized for another, say, a year in that analogy. So if it's getting paid out on the day instead of the year, that's like something interesting.
It gets paid out on the day, but yeah, you're right. So it gets paid out on the day, but you have to get to the point where your stake comes undone because it's all fairy dust until your time has come. That's why in the beginning I was one of the original proponents of laddering, which meant I was telling people who got into hex early and stuff, put hex on I would either quarterly, monthly, or once a year at the least. I thought once a year was a much. I know guys were doing it once every 4 years. I thought that I was like, bro, that's just fucking good luck trying to not FOMO out of it. But yeah.
So you're rewarded for laddering and pulling stuff out at the right stake point.
Yes.
And you don't get penalized by trying to emergency unstake something.
Yeah, so you have to wait until so let's just say on your birthday you put one stake every year on your birthday as example, right? So you wait until your birthday and then you unstake it, you then receive, so let's just say in that, all right, so back to this example. You have 10 times 5.6 times 365. So you will have 20,000 hex of interest payments that you'll get for sure, 100%. You will get that. Okay.
In addition to your original stake.
To your original stake. So 10 times, I'm guessing the price is probably 16,000 hex. So you probably had 160,000 hex staked for 1 year. plus your 20,000 and some change. So 180,000 plus probably maybe like 6,000 of emergency end stakes. So it'll give you about 106 in that. So if we were just looking to, and let me see, share the screen.
And if you do it before the Pulse chain release, you get a copy on the Pulse chain.
Correct. So it'd be something like 168,000, 1, 2, 3. So if you bought it today, it costs you, I mean, actually, look, the original example, I'm sorry. It'd be something like, $13,000 today. And then if the price of Hex is higher, let's just say it stabilizes at 25 cents or so, you could be talking about almost $100,000 stake, possibly. But at the same time, this is cryptocurrency, right? So you have to, the Hex is guaranteed in the equation. The thing is that the price of Hex is not guaranteed. That's the kicker.
Yeah, that's where, I mean, at a certain Hex price, if you're doing everything in like ratios and percentages of like what you have staked and what interest you're expecting and like the space between your stakes, as long as you have it set up, like you can get to a certain price and,
Yeah, I read Charlie in the morning by accident. Me and him have been literally not getting I've been sleeping like 2 hours on it. Like no lie, I've been sleeping two hours a day for the past 3 days.
Just gassed up.
I literally, it was like 3:30 in the morning for me when I talked to Charlie. Like, yeah, I'll be on the stream right there with you. I just I closed my eyes and I woke up. It was like 2 p.m. I did not wake up until 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's that feeling like when you get all this new currency in your life, it's like, oh, now I've got a lot of energy. I can't go to sleep.
Yeah. I mean, I've had that thing. That is the one tough part with working with somebody that's in Japan in multiple. Like, this is cryptocurrency, but you never deal with this in a local business, which is like I'm very used to. I work with someone locally here. We run all in the same time zone. With cryptocurrencies, it's international. And some of the best people in the world are not in your local area.
Time zone.
So he deals with that too. I mean, we're literally like so many hours apart. When Moon Gang starts for him, it's typically, I think, about
Is it in the afternoon?
No, it's in the morning for him. When Moon Gang starts, Moon Gang is usually, I think, 10 in the morning for him. I think, if I remember right.
Yeah, something like that.
Right. So, but when his show starts for me, right, it's 5 a.m. for me, which is kind of rough because then if you think about it, if you go on a show at 5 in the morning, I have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I'm in your time zone, so yeah, I know what that's brutal.
Yes, Renegade Wingman, sign up for the course, y'all, so Miguel can sleep, please. So I mean, sign up to the crypto mindset course. It's going to be really cool, dude. Let me tell you, outside of all the information and all the stuff you guys want to learn, really, really, really the real benefit and the shit that I love the most about the course is just the people. Because man, these are probably the last people you're going to actually have friends with. If I'm being really, really serious with, like Dave Dodge can talk to the guys in the chat and stuff, and we're all cool and everything, and we can talk bags and coins and money and stuff and big numbers. Because, let's just say as an example, we all stick together over time, which more than likely we are. What's going to happen? What's going to happen over 5-10 years is that the average wealth of the people in the courses, especially if you stick around in cryptocurrencies, on average, is probably going to go up 25 times. Current prices in terms of even if nothing happened, let's just say you kept your coins, didn't do nothing, and just you have what you have, you're probably going to be up 25 times or higher on average on your portfolio. So that's a world where a lot of people don't understand that money, even with inflation being what it is right now. So let's just say if I'm being fucking terribly, terribly pessimistic, let's just say the purchasing power of your portfolio gets cut in half in terms of current purchasing power, and then it's still 25x's. You will have, let's just say you have a 6-figure portfolio, you're going to have a multi-million-dollar portfolio of today's purchasing power. And a lot of people around the world can't really understand your woes at all. So it's like this is the only place where you're actually able to talk to somebody, right? Same things I see with the hexagons. And I kind of tell hexagons on Twitter and stuff, in private, I tell them, dude, stop showing your fucking t-shirts, dude. There's people out here showing bro, you understand how much money I made out here on these streets? God damn, bro. All the Brazilian hookers are mine. All of them. Bro, chill, stop now. You don't get all these titties in my face. Like, and I'm like, dude, chill, you know. And it's like I tell these guys, some of these guys have been showing like I've got 15,000 T-shares, or like 10,000 T-shares, or like 1,000 T-shares. Like that. I mean, literally a T-shirt could be equal to the price of Ethereum, literally this year.
So, can you explain to me the relationship between the hex coins and the T-shares, and how you want to move those around and stack them?
Okay, wait. Let me get the question. All right, so you're asking how hex and T-shares relate.
Yeah.
Well, can I jump on that just real quick?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Just like the simplest way that I would do is to get, I mean, depending on how much you want to put in, like if you got $2,000 or whatever, I would say do like a 1-year stake and get a T-share, and then do a 15-year stake or a 10-year stake and get a T-share. And then, you know, that's $2,000. And then after a year, you're going to see what the fuck a T-share is all about. Like that's the quickest way to learn. And then you're also going to see what the 15-year one's all about as well as time comes. And if you can just start rolling that T-share over, I mean, after the first year, you're going to want to probably, you know, get more T-shares. So depending on how much you want to start out, you know, you can get a T-share for, I just did a stake the other day, like a couple days ago, because I wanted to get one more T-share. And I did it for like, I don't know, 3,000 days or 4,000 days, somewhere around there. And it was only like $634 or something for a T-share if you stake it out long enough. So,
well, you see, I have to be careful, because if I'm going to stake out long term, I might be dead by that time. So I'm probably going to keep a shorter term.
A shorter term. That was so dark.
So I got to be realistic. So I'll probably ease into this with some, you know, like make me a birthday present every year, and then I can go out and, you know, treat my wife to a nice dinner.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's exactly how I've told a lot of people, like when they're getting into hex, if they just want to, like, that's what I did for my parents and stuff. I got it on their anniversary.
Yeah.
And then go, you can.
The thing is, you know, I want to try it first, understand how it works, and then leverage it further to meet my financial needs. So
they're saying you're gonna have so much money, you're gonna have an AI body by then. The $3 billion man, fully bionic, bro.
Yeah, but I'll need a lot of hex and a lot of T-shares to afford to buy that piece and then transfer it.
Well, you'll make it. No, I mean, look, so for somebody like, if you're really afraid. So obviously, I would recommend to you. I mean, you don't have to take my advice at all, but probably a 1 to 5 year. And work. So there's a way. It's almost like, so what I would look into is traditional CD ladders, because this is where I personally got some of the original strategies that I got. Is that you do a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then every stake. So when the 1 year stake gets done, you take your interest payment and a little bit of the principal, put it in your pocket. You take the rest out and you make it a 5 year. So what happens is, as eventually once you get to the 5 year point, every stake you're unstaking is a 5 year.
Yeah.
So you leverage time. That way, you're just getting a 5 year average, and you're getting, that's 5 years of compounding. So it's like, let's just go back to the example again, right? So you were getting 20,000 in that example. Obviously, it's gonna be different depending on the amount you do. But let's just keep it on the example. You're getting 20,000 hex, 2,000 hex, 200 hex, depending. I think 200 hex is for 1 year. I think, if I got the math right, or it might be a little bit more. But let's just make the math easy. So if you're getting 20,000 hex on average as interest payment for 5 years, you're getting 100,000 extra hex. If hex is 250 in 5 years, right? After a bull market, bear market, it's teetering off, that could be a really decent amount of money. That's $250,000 in US value. And then in 5 years, that's probably like $125,000 today's dollars.
Wow.
Not too shabby.
Yeah.
But you have to have that time. That's what I'm personally doing myself. But my ladder is not starting for 10 years. In terms of, I've got a ladder where I got money coming out, but I'm taking, just like what I said, I do what I preach, right? Is I'm taking my interest payments, a little bit of my principal, but right now, because my stakes are pretty large, what I do is just take interest. I take 80% of my interest and I take principal plus 20% of my interest and then stake it out. That's personally what I do. Because I'm okay. I'm confident with my stakes like that, and that interest is enough for me. Where every time I get a stake, I just put it in my pocket, and then eventually I have like, oh, look at all that hex. And then if I ever need any money, I've only sold hex like 3 times just for Ethereum to pay for unstakes. Basically, I haven't ever taken profit on hex.
So the T shares, are your hex stakes converted to T shares? Is that what it does over on longer stakes, or what?
Go ahead, Marco.
Yeah, the good metaphor that I think Hold Dog said it. Maybe he was talking how wealthy people own assets. Like think of a T share like a hotel. Like if you own a hotel, you don't sell the hotel. You make money off the hotel, and then that's the money you make. Like you keep the T share, and that's making you more. It's a money printer.
Okay.
So it's printing you hex every single day, and hex is appreciating.
So you don't turn in the CD. You keep the CD and keep renewing the CD, and just live off the interest.
Exactly.
Okay.
Boom. There we go. You got it. I will show that in the course. I will show how to do a hex stake, how to emergency unstake. Oh, that's gonna hurt. And I'm going to show essentially how to do everything in the hex ecosystem. It doesn't take very long. It's very simplistic, but it's the same thing. You have a very good system when you can do it very simply, very complex. Like some people are like trying to, like, all right, I need to strategize. I'm going to put a lot of my hex here so I can front run these guys who made this decide to emergency unstake at 2.5 years, and then I'll put some here at 7.5 years and stuff, because then I'll be front running the guys at 15-year stakes. I mean, you can get into like just like anything, right? You can have a very simple low IQ side of the spectrum, high IQ, and the middle gets fucked. So typically, it's just easier to go low IQ. Honestly, most of the time, just like I'm a simple hex farmer. I stake my hex and I collect my interest and I sell it at the market. Very simple.
Yeah. Well, that's I like simple, but I'm getting tired of my wife coming around. Hey, how much did I make today? How much did you make for me today?
Right. So in terms of the APY for hex long term, it's going to stay between probably 45% to 18% at the low. That's roughly what I think the APY is going to stay at long term.
So that's through the bear and the bull markets.
Bear and bull market. I mean, we went through. Hex was launched in the bear market, and the lowest I ever saw it was like 25%. I think one time. That's it. It's been at 40+% plus. The big payday was an additional like 37% extra, but that's you won't have that. So don't even think about that. But the APY is like at 40% staked and everything.
So it's sounding like this is probably a long-term moneymaker prospect than parking USDC on like sell at 8%.
Right, that's more of a long term, because you're also taking the risk, the added risk of fluctuation in price in hex.
Right.
But Richard designed it in order to appreciate in price, but you're still taking risk. So you do have capital. You do have capital risk when the hex token goes down in price. So let's just say you buy it at 8 cents and it goes to $0.01. I'll probably buy, but most people would be like, no. And the market's like, oh my god, like, oh, what I do, and they like, I sold, and then the price jumps to 3 cents. Fuck, and they buy it back, and then they got a third less coins.
Well, I think one of the key advantages, because this will be my third quarter of classes, is that it takes a period of time to develop that mindset.
Right.
I was kind of hesitant the first quarter and then the second quarter, and now I'm going to see it happen again. And it's like, now it's all making sense, and I don't have to be worried about this. It's like, this is normal.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay, it will come back at some point.
Yeah. I don't know if I can.
Go.
One of the other things is like, I mean, if you're looking at hex as like a stock or something, maybe even like you invest in Apple because, the person in head, like maybe you like Steve Jobs or whatever, or you invest in Google because you like those crooks over there or whatever. But you go where the smartest person is. So it's like Richard Hart is like the best person to invest in, like as a company, because he's like the smartest person in this sphere of cryptocurrency, which is very new. Like it's the other metaphors, like getting in on the internet when it was first coming out and being able to like buy up the good websites and stuff. Like
Yeah.
he's got that you know, history of just winning. Like the more you look into him and like what he's into and his abilities over time, like the more you look into him, he's the person you want to be investing in. And then you just look at the, you know, the instrument he created and what it actually does, like pays you passive income.
Yeah.
Like it becomes, the more you look into it, it becomes really, you know, obvious. Like it's real simple.
Yeah. And the you know, it's like him and Mashinsky seem to be some pretty sharp cookies that are out there. And, you know, and they've got a track record. They've shown some, you know, they've shown some stuff, and people are upset because they were successful. And that's, you know, I didn't buy Microsoft. I didn't buy Apple. I didn't buy Amazon. And now I'm in crypto, and I'm hoping that I can, you know, increase my position in life to let me live the way I want to live.
Right. But that's also why, you know, like, so this is where the Hexagons disagree with me a little bit. So, this is why I do like it. So diversification is good if you're diversified in good stuff that's actually appreciating in price, right? It's diversifying into 500 companies. You know, I would say 400 of them are not even profitable. 300 of them are actually making all the money, basically. Inside the whole 80-20 principle.
Yeah.
People have trouble choosing the right currencies, but in cryptocurrencies, it's actually easier than you think it is. It just takes a little work and stuff. So you have a portfolio. So I've got a big portfolio of Hex that I have it staked out, right? I don't touch it. I just let it accumulate, grow. And that's how I play that. Then I have other cryptocurrencies, Ethereum, Polkadot, and everything else that there was a time in Hex's history for like 4 months, 6 months there, it wasn't doing anything. And people were pulling their fucking hair out. Same thing's happening right now. Same thing's happening with Celsius.
Yep.
That's the same fucking thing, right? And this is something that I've tried. It's very hard to teach people this because it's not fun. But, you know, synthetics, right? I made a lot of money on synthetics. Rebought it again, and I've been dollar costing into it at $8 right now. Fucking, it just went down a lot. You have to have a lot of conviction on your stuff, right? So I don't get into projects unless I really like them. Unless from the beginning I'm like, oh, this is a rug. Oh, I'm just gonna buy it and just dump it. But then you're playing games there. You know, that's very risky. So the way I have it is, Dave Dodge, you would have something like some Hex, you would have some USDC, then you would have some Ethereum yielding for you. You have multiple assets on different places, diversified, maybe 20% of each, boom, 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 here. Right. And then that would give you an average of maybe something like 18 to 22% long-term APY on your portfolio. And if your portfolio is worth a few million, then you're cashing in quite a lot of money. And then from there, it's up to you basically to sell interest. You decide this year, you know what, I want to sell all of it this year. This year, you know what, I only need 50%, and you save the rest and additionally compound your stuff. Or you put that APY into a USDC account, and then you essentially see like, oh, this new project has a lot of promise, you know, I'll put it in, and then you can play the long-term game on it. And then if it plays out, you win a lot. So that's how eventually you'll end up being, and then you'll be able to kind of live your life a lot more passively.
Well, the output so far has been my 3 heaviest weighted. I'm sitting about 70 or 80% in, you know, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Celsius.
Okay.
And then the rest, I think I've only got Celsius. I've got Hex. I've got Uniswap, and I've got some DOT.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah, no, it's a simple portfolio, but it's a portfolio that I find very hard to lose. It's going to do well, right? Ethereum, everyone's shitting on Ethereum right now. Ethereum should be, if the crash hadn't have happened, Ethereum would be like $5,500 right now.
Yeah, and I may even, because Hex is doing so well, I may roll some Hex into ETH. But
yeah, that could totally work out, because I mean, all right, let me look. So with the EIP 1559, it's probably going to pop back up to 4,500 probably with the EIP, and then if Bitcoin can manage to drag its fucking ass up and get itself over $40,000, then Ethereum could trend towards $5,500, $6,500. With all the hype and stuff. Then you have stuff like Lido and Rocket Pool and all these other tokens that have been waiting and working for a long time. Like Rocket Pool itself has been working on earning yield on basically EIP 1559 and this whole thing with ETH 2.0 or like the proofs or staking since 2017. They've been working on it, and now their product in a couple months is finally going to actually be able to actually function finally. So there's a lot of projects and a lot of things. It's pretty interesting. Ethereum's finally going to be an asset where you can hold it. Like there's stuff like Lido where you'd be able to stake your Ethereum, and people are going to try to stake Ethereum on the network, and then you have something that pays you ETH passively. So it's like, imagine like now Ethereum, when you buy Ethereum, it has a passive dividend on it, which is pretty nice. Mm-hmm. Which will probably make it even more valuable because you have an asset that generates yield trustlessly.
So has Charlie and MLD varied from their everyone should own one Bitcoin and say 10 Ethereum?
No, we still have that, but the thing is, it's hard. It's getting harder and harder. We pivoted a while back into Ethereum. Like we pivoted once. Let's see. I think when a Bitcoin first went over 35,000 and Ethereum was like $800 or something. I remember right, $800. I was screaming in the green rooms, like so was Charlie, but like, dude, like Ethereum, because look here. Let me pull it up real quick.
Yeah, DCC. I just want to say because Bitfinesse, Black Magic, and then David, they sent a few super chats. Thank you guys.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, sorry, I didn't see him. So, current home prices provides that the price doesn't care about total supply. Price only cares about supply being. Yeah, correct. Yeah, so it's all about the supply in the market. It's not about how much is. Yeah, it's the same thing too. It's this thing that we talk about in the course as well. That's called Jesus Christ. It's this whole thing with supply in the market and stuff. So if everyone in the market, everything's paper money, basically. So if everyone in the entire neighborhood or everyone in your city sold their house at the same time, your fucking house prices would collapse, like to like 90%, like 90% down. I mean, you'd be able to buy a house. Back in the day, I mean, like if the average house in your local area is like $1 million, you'd probably be able to buy a house for like $83,000, $110,000. Which then from there I'd be like, well, you know what, I might sell a little crypto and buy myself 2-3 houses or something like that. And then that's kind of what's going on. But if let's just say the whole United States was like, we're selling our houses, we don't want it, we're running away, it go dirt cheap. That's the same thing what happened over there when like Louisiana Purchase. The French government was like, we own all this land here in the States. We can't control it, so let's just sell it. Fuck it. And they sold it all in a mass sell to the United States government. They sold it for like 3 cents an acre or something like that. And like the whole thing ended up selling for like 14 million. And then that money was then used by Bonaparte for the
for the French Revolution or the Napoleonic Wars.
Yep. So hey. That's why that whole thing was like, when there's blood in the streets, these hoes are on the sheets or something. Oh, wait. No, when there's blood in the streets, that's when you buy, when things are going crazy, that's when you buy. But hey, thank you so much for the super chat. The next super chat is, I don't even have to ask. It's about Celsius. I already know. Black Magic is like literally like the Celsius Dawn, bro. Let's see who else. Oh, Dave Morales. Let's see. Diversify so you can make money in lots of ways, mostly eHex, but there's other stuff out there. Hex is so simple. Yeah, Hex is just so simple. I like the simplicity. Sometimes just simple. Something simple is just so amazing.
It's elegant.
It's elegant. It's very elegant. Hex is very elegant. Once you understand, it's so simple. That's what I really do like it. But it's the sort of thing you can dollar cost your way in. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to. But obviously, like if there is a dip on, let's just say if Hex touches 12 cents and it crashes to 6 cents, probably buying opportunity, because if we start the launch phase and then a bunch of that Hex took off the market, well, that Hex is not coming back on the market. So people have to dig out of their ass or dig out of their emergency end stakes to crash the price, because the whales, because the first week is this huge one to get the whales to jump in. Or it's like, all right, whales, you don't want to throw in the sacrifice phase. Okay, you're gonna give the whale status to some other dude in for Pulse, and they're gonna be like,
yeah,
I like manipulating.
I hope that happens.
It's gonna happen. These guys are gonna ape. They have to ape. They have to ape. It's like, what? Oh, so you're only going to be cool in Hex. Okay, then Pulse and E-Hex is going to, all the parties going to be shining. And what people hate to do is seeing other people make money. They hate it.
Don't say that.
Oh, they hate it.
Don't you dare.
People are jealous monkeys, jealous ass orangutans. Like, that's what they are, man. Drinking no Tang. Like, that's why they're mad in space, floating around fucking mad. That, like, they're in transit to the moon, and they're just watching all the other orangutans with Tang in their hand. You know, make money.
That's funny.
I've been sitting up here with all the Microsoft guys driving around in Lambos and Lotus Elites and all that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of jaded.
So Bitfinex, yeah, it's often a quandary with diversification that people end up selling the thing that goes up the most. No, yeah, that's true. It feels safer, but I can't be mad at that. Yeah. So it's this whole thing too. It's like, you're right. Typically, like in equities or in any other financial instrument, you sell your losers and you stack on your winners. That's what you do. But it's a whole thing too, where you have to also know where you are at in life. Whether you have a very big. That's what usually when I do consultations, I go with people like, "What's your age?" And people are like, "Oh, like, what? Like, what do you mean? How old I am?" Well, it's just for me to get a sort of a. I need to get a picture of like where you are at in life. Just like in the Red Pill, they got the whole thing spreadsheet for what girls are going through in their life cycle. Guys also go through the same thing, just different phases, right? When you're older, you're trying to make sure like, well, I'm not going to be working as much, so I need to make sure I've got income coming in so I can take care of the family because I'm a man. That's just what it is. And then two, everyone likes grandpa coming home to the grandkids with a bunch of gifts. And then grandpa feels like a boss when he's paying for like I paid for my my granddaughter's college. Feels pretty dope. Thanks, Grandpa. I love you. You know that we live for that shit. You know.
Yeah, but by the same token, they think you're a capitalist and you're white supremacist having all this money to pay off my college loan. Sometimes they're ungrateful.
Right. Yeah. Well, no, that's true. Yeah. I mean, you got to. Sometimes you have to go. I mean, this is the hard part. Is like kids getting grateful because they're not. You got to discipline them when they're small and stuff. You know, there's like this old Jewish proverb, like, give me a kid before the age of 7, I can mold him to anything I want. By age 7, I already know what kind of man he'll be. That's the rough translation of it. Basically.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. There's this phase. Go ahead.
I got stuck with 2 daughters, so I can't say that.
There's a great movie called Matilda. It's one of my favorite movies kind of growing up as a kid and shit. There's like this old thing with Miss Trunchbull. She goes, grab the rod, beat the child. That's my motto. Which is really funny. It's a great movie if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I like that movie for sure.
Let's see. Fuck yeah, $120 all the way, bro. I'm backing down for shit on that call.
I don't know. I disagree with that.
You know, Erie, this negativity on stream is not really like needed right now. You know, like everyone thinks we're going into a bear market. And
what if he's going to say it's not going to be 120, it's going to be 130?
Oh, right.
That would be a disagreement.
Well, it was just the thing is, because I was curious about this. I ran a poll because usually when polls, they give you a lot of data onto what other people are thinking, and then I think it was because I got about like 700 people who participated, and it's not like a really big number, but like it was just mainly people in like the Celsius community, and I did a predictions. What do you think is the market cycle top price for Cell token? And then I gave 4 options: 25 to 50, 51 to 100, 101 to 200, and then 14K. And it was the 25 to 50 that got, I think, about like 53 or 57% of all the votes.
Bitches.
And then 50 to 51 to 100, that got about another like 30 something percent. So the majority of people, they thought it's going to be under $100.
Right.
And usually what that tells me is that whenever the price of sell tokens, it hits that particular dollar value, that's usually around the time when people intend to sell.
Yes, because like watch this. At $80, if I sell 10,000 sell tokens, I'm selling at $800,000, right? So at $100, people have 10,000 sell tokens. That's $1 million cash money right there. People have these psychological numbers. Somebody's like, my bad. Some dude's like, I got 25,000 sell tokens. If at $25, that's like $1 million. And everyone's got, so somebody's got an 8,000 Celsius bag, right? So let's go back to the calculator of wonder, right? So let's, I mean, it's so simple. People can like, but you hit it right on the head, Erie, with this shit. It's so true. Like people do everything. So let's just say I have 800. All right, let's say, all right, so let's do some mathematication, right? So $1 million, right? And I divide that by 8,833 Celsius for somebody's bag. They would need it up. Oh, look at that, 112. Damn, I didn't even. That wasn't even on purpose, bro. That wasn't even on purpose. Oh my god, I did it on purpose. I didn't even do it on purpose. That's funny. But okay, so let me pick a different number. So let's just say someone has. Okay, let's just say $1 million, right? Divided by 5,000 cell tokens, $200. You know, so more than likely, a guy that has 5,000 cell tokens would probably go, okay. What about $100,000? 100,000 divided by 5,000, $20. And so let's just see the current. So 7,000 times, let's say 750 for sell, right? And so they got 30. They got 37. So I was like, oh fuck, man, I got 37,000. I don't know. I've never had six figures before in my life. I'm gonna cash out at 6 figures. This is what some people do. Right? Same thing with Hex. People will hit these psychological levels of Hex, right? So let's just say Hex hits 20 cents. I've got 1 million Hex at 20 cents. That's like $200,000, right? Or some people in the chats, right? I know in a lot of the Discord chats, we have the whole thing. I mean, the Discord or the Telegram chats, we have this whole thing with, we have this whole thing with, what do you call it? You can go /Hex Lambo. And then it tells you all the prices of all these supercars you can buy. So it's like you can just go boom, boom, boom like this, and it tells you like you need 8,733,000 Hex to buy one Lamborghini Aventador, right? So if at some point, right, like if Hex goes up enough, it might be 1 million Hex. Even me, I'll be like, you know, I mean, I guess I could swing a Lamborghini Aventador, I guess, you know. And that's what people do, right? So it just depends. It just as long as you know someone's goal, you can figure out when they sell. It's pretty simple.
How much are those?
Depends how tricked out you get. If you get them really tricked out, 750,000. But you can usually get them for like 500,000.
So that's that's roughly 8 million Hex.
Yeah, be like Richard Cooper, buy a used one and get it for a discount.
Right. Show your thumbnail to the XNX trading. Oh yeah. Oh. Oh my god. Yeah, if anyone else wants to come on, let me know, man. Oh wait, whoa, whoops. I think I need to stop sharing.
So the thing that I'm having you guys have been through a couple of these cycles, so it's like, are these prices like for real? And that's I'm having some credibility, with the numbers. I'm just, I'm an old guy. I'm more cautious, but it's real. I mean, it's somebody's gotten rich by cashing out every now and then.
Wait, say it again.
Somebody's gotten rich by cashing out at certain points with their stuff.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, you are never going to be happy when selling crypto. It's fucking like you just have to do it. That's a shitty. It's like it makes me like one time I sold like I better wait. Let's see. One time like I sold some, right, and I just watched what I sold just keep going up, and I was pissed the fuck off. Just pissed off, like fuck. Yeah. But what did I do with the money? I went and got myself a better place to live. I fucking took stress off my life and everything like that. I was able to give my parents some money. pretty good, you know. But it just like that's the sort of thing. It's like there's this whole thing where I'm gonna sell the top. You know, you can get close, but you you have to get so fucking lucky to be like the guy that like Dave Dodge converted all his money into Ethereum, and then he sold Ethereum at $18,536.26 at the all-time high, and then Dave Dodge is like as it crashes. I mean, no, that's not going to happen. You can sell at 15,000. Yeah. Let's just say the top is 18 and you sell at 15. And then you keep selling. You'll hit an average and you'll be like, wow, I sold at a pretty good price.
Well, I've got kind of a thought process that, you know, I don't want to sell everything because you need some seed corn to grow the next crop.
Right. Exactly. So that's the whole thing too. Like, so there's like the wait, what's good example? I guess I don't have it. I had like this thing, but basically, like you have this water, like I don't know. Let me see. So I don't know. Let's just see an example, right? All right, like you have like a bunch of money right here, right? So I don't know. So let's just say each $100 bill right here is like, I don't know. Let's just say each $100 bill is like $100,000. Let's just say this is 100,000 T shares right here, 100 T shares or whatever, right? Or whatever you want to call it, $100,000, right? What ended up happening is that you go, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So you got $1 million here, right? You got $1 million here, and what ends up happening is like, all right, this goes to taxes. If you pay them, you know, pay them. Yep. This is going to go for some lifestyle stuff, or so it's almost this weird thing where like if you really want to get really rich and make it for the next cycle, like you'll have something close to half of the money, and you got to decide, you got to be cool with just spending this on yourself, but you really want to upgrade your lifestyle. And it's the thing you got to do. Like let's just, I know guys that already had a couple $1 million, and they started off with like a tenth of this, $10,000, and they're at $1.5 million right now, right? So they started earlier, but they got to this point. So that's the whole thing where you've got to make the decision of this money. Perfect example right here, right? You got this whole each one of these is equivalent to 20% of the wealth that you after taxes. What are you going to chuck back in, right? Let's just say you do it all right. You time it, you sell it, boom, got it. Yes, got the money, got this. Woo! Out this bitch. The prices are collapsed. Woo! The market's dead. Yes. And then, okay, what are you throwing back in? How much you want to nitros yourself? So you've got to add up the math. Like, okay, I put in $30,000 last cycle or this cycle when I first started. Now I have this much. Some people might so if you have the calculation that some guy decides like this is all he has left, and then he puts it in and he spends all this, he'll still do pretty good if he follows all the strategies and does well, but he has to work really hard for it. But he's gonna be probably 3 to 4 times richer than he was in this cycle when he got all this money here. So then you have a guy that's like, oh, I'm throwing it all in, and that guy, like, you have to be very stoic to do that. Yeah. And that's hard because man, if you're wrong. So, I mean, for me, right, I would probably do something closer to maybe like this, like 3 and half of 100 right here, something like that. That way you have some fun money, 100,000 for fun money, upgrading lifestyle, and 50% for a savings account, just so you don't have to like stress yourself out. And you throw this chunk in here into the coins that you need. You know?
So and like you said, the first cycle is learning, the second cycle is getting rich, and the third cycle is getting wealthy.
Right. Now these hundreds are sticky. God damn.
Yeah, be careful, they stick together.
Dave, the other thing I'll say about it is I don't know how many of you guys watching have seen it, but there's this thing that was going around on Twitter and Instagram where it was if you had invested $1,000 in 2010, like they give you a list of things like Google, Amazon, Tesla, Netflix, and then the other one was Bitcoin. Yeah. I mean, it would have been very hard for somebody to like discover Bitcoin in 2010, but like whatever you invest your money in, if you invested in a good product over time, that money is going to appreciate. So let's just look at something like the very, very simple, like the DJI. If you put whatever amount of money in the DJI in 2010, you would be up approximately 3x on your money right now, so 400%. Where else are you going to be able to get a 400% return outside of a financial market. So if you bought a house, would your house appreciate by 400% from 2010 till now? Probably not, depending on where you are. So it's the most amount of money is typically made in a financial market. So of course there's a risk where you have to figure out like what you're buying, because you don't want to buy like a crappy product that's going to go down over time.
Mm-hmm.
You want to buy something that's going to appreciate, and everything moves in a cycle. So you can't, like, since we were just talking about Hex earlier, Hex, they go through periods where they have even because it's only been around for under 2 years. They go through cycles where they go. They have their ups and downs. So, because I was looking at the price chart, so Hex from the very beginning, it went down about, what is it, 80-90%, Miguel? I mean DCC, it went down about 80 or 90% in the beginning, and then it had a period where it was going up, and then I think it was sometime around April. No, it was in May. So in May, from May until October, it had a period where it didn't make a new all-time high. It was just chopping around.
Going sideways.
Yeah. So it's every single product. It doesn't matter what you buy. It's never like they just go up in a straight line, because that's just how markets work. You're going to have people who are greedy, and then you're going to have people who, you know, they buy the top and they sell the bottom. Like what we just had now. There were a lot of people who I know that they put in a little bit of money, because I told them buy some Ethereum and buy some Bitcoin back in Q4 of last year, and then they put in a little bit of money, and then once the prices had appreciated by 400 or 500%, that's when they put a lot of money in.
Yeah,
and then I'm pretty sure yeah.
Cool.
I'm pretty sure you can happen next. After they put in a lot of money, after the price went up 400, 500, 600%, then they sold the bottom. Because I had people who called me, they told me the price of Ethereum crashed and they sold it. They sold it like on May 19th at the bottom of the wick at about like 1850, 1860. So
that's the guys I bought their coins from.
Yeah, that shows you the lack of discipline in the market space in general with a lot of retail investors. Because, right, when do people care about any of these projects? Oh, when it's moving and it's making all-time highs. So, like, we're in an era right now where it's like, oh my God, Bitcoin is only floating at $30,000. Which, right, if you're backing it back in the day, it's like, this is a phenomenal number that we're at. But for the general retail, it's like, oh, it's just staying still. It's boring. It's not moving. Our interest is completely waned. So now we're going to go chase the newest, shiniest object. And it's really interesting, that retail mentality of like, you know, something's stable, even if it's, you know, 100x from where it was. Oh, it's stable and it's not continuing to go up. Therefore, it equals as being boring and not that interesting until it starts to move and they have a new shiny object to chase.
That's what I've resisted. So that's kind of where I've learned some of my lessons. And DCC and Charlie, you know, they state that in the course, and that's something that you need to consider. And you know, I've been in the equities market for 40 years. You know, I was buying a new car on Black Monday of, you know, October of 1987, and I had no clue. But you know, the reason I'm sitting pretty well right now is I stayed there and held on to it because I've watched it go up. I've watched it go down. I've watched it go up and watched it go down. And it always comes back, at least the market comes back stronger than the rest of the.
Well, I think the saying is, right, time in the market is more important than timing the market.
Absolutely.
So, you know, get in and ride it out.
Get in and ride it out. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, no one has that mentality in cryptocurrencies and stuff. That would be one of the bonuses I did get from being in equities for such a long time, is that long-term mentality. And it's not even that long-term. Like, shit, you hold crypto for a fucking year and a half, and as long as you're not in the bottom of as long as you're not on the part, like, it's not like as long as you're not holding from like 2018 down to 2019. But from there, you hold Bitcoin, Ethereum for a year and a half, you're up like stupid amounts of money. Like even right now, right? If you had bought the bottom on Bitcoin, you're up like 11 times on your money at least.
Yeah, it's interesting how people don't understand the concept of pack your bags early and then you'll be okay, right? You don't want to pack your bags as the airplane's trying to take off. That's the worst time to try and pack your bags.
Right.
You pack it like hours before, and then you get to the airport, you chill in the lounge, and then you do the whole boarding, and then you great, you sail up easy. But then when you're trying to like pack as soon as the captain's saying, "Hey, we're taking off now," it's too late.
Yeah, you can still get crypto bags right now. It's just you have to be more concentrated on what you're getting. Like right now, even right now, I would not be telling people to get Bitcoin if they want to. Like what I would tell people is like get gains off of Ethereum and some of these altcoins, and then get yourself that Bitcoin and put that away. That's how you do it, because Ethereum is going to outpace Bitcoin no matter what in terms of percentage gains. You got all the stuff with the EIP 5059 and everything else, but you're not going to lose either way, even with Bitcoin. You're going to have, because like the reason I knew the market wasn't like this bull market's not over. We haven't hit 6 figures this cycle.
So what's going on with synthetics and uni? They're kind of like down right now. Are they just
the whole market kind of was down right now. So, but if you look across all the AMMs and stuff, it held up like Uniswap held up better than all of them. All of them, even Curve. People are trying to say Curve. There was this whole thing where like you had a bunch of the influencers pumping Curve a couple days ago, and then Curve went down 12% more. So they're just trying to pump their Curve bags to dump it, which is pretty funny. Well, they probably did dump and stuff.
Well, I'm tracking it, and those two have been upside down for the last 3-4 weeks, but they were up there on the green side.
But it's also like relative, right? Because it's like if you are buying Uniswap, right, when it first got listed on Coinbase at like $4, right, you're still at a 5x of where you were. Yeah. So it's keeping that long-term vision. Because anytime I would talk to people about crypto and like show them, right, they always have a heart attack when they look at the hour candles or like the weekly ones. Then you like pull it back over like 3 months and then a year, and then it's like, oh, okay, now it all comes into focus. So it really goes back to dollar cost point of you have to have that like long-term vision that will keep you balanced and keep you sane.
Yeah. Well, I bought in a slightly higher point than $4, so I'm a little more worried. But the bottom line is the first quarter I learned is like, Bitcoin's going up. Yeah, okay, I know it's going to go up, but at least I'm in Bitcoin to gain some of that momentum. I don't know, buy some more later, and it's going to probably drop, and I'll get some more. So it's one of those things. If you don't have some sanity in the process, and the one thing I did focus on is go into it with a plan. Right. And execute the plan. That way, you're not going to be surprised. It's like I de-risked my Hex because I was trading. I was looking at the price. Oh crap! It's at my de-risk point. I better de-risk. So I pulled my money out, and it's like, and then what was left, doubled and tripled.
Yeah. So you had a plan, you did it, and you still have some. That's why we teach always have the moon bag there. Yeah. Have the moon bag, because that moon bag will keep you from like the rope.
Yeah, nothing's worse than I completely sold out. Oh, and it's still moving. You're like, okay. I left the party a little early, right? It's like you're at this raging house party. You leave at like midnight because you're like, all right, cool, things are winding down, and it's like, dude, were you there at 1 a.m. when the guy lit that thing on fire? Like, wait, what? That happened?
I missed the fun.
Yeah. Then at 1:28 in the morning, then the cops come. It's over.
Well, I've been a good boy. I've avoided all those.
No, dude, you just have. I threw a party once, and the neighbors called the police on me. The police came over, hung out with us. We wound up like giving them muffins and cupcakes. They kicked it for like an hour, and then they left like go down the rounds. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that midnight snack.
Oh, absolutely. It's like, hey, serve and protecting. So I support that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what cryptos are you guys looking into right now? I'd be really interested to hear.
I bought up recently a lot of SNX when it dumped to a little bit under $9.
Yeah.
My man. That's either SNX is either going to be the fucking glorious death or fucking glorious fucking money, dude. Like I don't see anywhere in between. Like it either goes to like multi-$100 or it just fucking fails and it suck. But it's so like in terms of the team, it's probably almost every single like derivatives product in cryptocurrency essentially just copies Synthetics code most of the time. Like it's all copied off of Synthetics. And there really isn't in terms of like a DeFi community that has like hodlers and stuff. The Synthetics community has got some diamond hand motherfuckers in it. Like their project basically almost went to zero basically in the bear market, and then they brought it back to life.
So what happened to RGT? Is it still down?
Yeah, it's still down. I think it's like what's it, $6? I think $6 right now. $7.
Yeah, I dove out of that at 12.
Oh, that's not too. You're not down too bad and stuff. I had some. What did I buy it? $21 or something. So yeah, I'm down on it right now, but it's whatever. That's a speculation. You can earn yield on it on BNT or Bancor. Yeah. There's like a cross swap there where you can just put it up and get like I think like 8% on it or 10%.
Yeah, I bailed totally and just dumped it back into ETH.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Do what you want to do with that one, right? I just think that I think that one will recover one day, but it's just sort of the thing where I made a one-time purchase.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I'm just sitting on it. That's how you have to play some of these coins,
Yep.
With Synthetics, it's got the added benefit of being on a bunch of exchanges, so it's very easy for people to buy it. So when good news does happen, you could see this thing just really rocket. With something like RGT, a lot of insiders get in first, and it has to be kind of propelled upwards and stuff through like. There's got to be a lot of kind of like backroom deals with RGT, but I
think the coin builders and the programmers and all those guys learned their lesson when they got it really wasn't their code that was hacked, it was somebody else's code.
Alpha Finance, which stole their idea from Grow.
Yeah,
I shit you not.
Exactly.
I shit you not.
Grow.
Yeah, the people in the Grow community were really pissed off at Alpha Finance because Grow came out 3 months before Alpha Finance did, and they stole all their ideas in their code, some of their code as well and stuff. And they because what like Grow was doing, which is a good idea. It's risky, but it's a good idea because as long as it works, that's all that matters, right? But what it was is it's basically leveraged pools, yield farming pools. So they were able to get like 2 to 5x leverage on Ethereum or stable coins, and then put that money into the pool. So we have a larger amount of money, so your APY goes higher. So let's just say you're in a 5% pool with 4x leverage, it would be like 18%, 17% APY on the pool, and people would be like, "Whoa, that's crazy," and they'd kill it, Yeah.
So what's your approach, Miguel, on investigating new coins for analysis?
Oh, well, it's kind of what I do. I mean, basically, like the starting blocks, pretty much just exactly what I show in the course, which is just, I go on to their website. I go on to see the price chart, go into the price, see the how much of the circulating supply is out. From there, really look into the team, because the team is one thing I always really look at a lot. Obviously I see, because the website's a big telltale sign. If it's a good website, okay, they put some time and energy into this, right? But then you really make sure and look into the team and the connections. It's a space. It's decentralized, but it's still there's still big insider games. You see who's backing them. It's just a Game of Thrones. It's just is the Starks backing this person? Is Targaryen's backing? It's like literally like that. As stupid as that sounds, it's like
so. Do you give more weighting to the to like the investors and the management team? Because
all the time
I've looked at some stuff, and it's like, I don't even know these people. I have no clue. And there's unless that's just being around long enough to know who's who in the playground.
Yeah, I mean, typically if I see Andreessen Horowitz, it's pretty legit.
Yeah.
Andreessen Horowitz pretty legit. Pantera Capital is cool, but it's like they don't really back a project as much as they should sometimes, but they do. They're still loud in the ecosystem and stuff like that. Typically, the way you can tell if Pantera Capital is backing these projects is if you see 1-inch exchange in their yield farming pools.
Okay.
If there's incentivized pools in there, they only really allow projects they're friends with. So if they haven't invested yet, they're going to, or they have, or somebody in the Pantera Capital or digital currency group has got some money in there to allow it into the 1 inch place and everything. Another one, 3 Arrows Capital, big players and stuff. Those guys are good dudes. Parify Capital is another good dude. Multi-Chain Capital is another one. Multi-Chain Capital is probably the most successful, I guess, equity or I guess I'm not sure to call them hedge fund, but basically let's just call them hedge fund. They're the best kind of angel investment hedge fund this cycle. They essentially chose everything, just about right. In terms of percentage gains, they got into everything, Rune and everything else. I mean, they killed it. Absolutely killed it, but let's see how they do in the next cycle, because typically, you have a hot cycle and then you do pretty good in the next cycle, but who knows?
So with DeFi being the big new thing in this cycle, what do you see as coming out being something that is going to pop out in the next bear market, bull market cycle?
Probably tokenized real estate and equities.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next evolution of NFTs, basically.
Basically, yeah. I mean, like someone mentioned OGN. I think that's probably one of the better tokens in the NFT space. Good team. The team's backed by Google, YouTube, and all that stuff, so they got a lot of backing on that front. The team's really good. Another bonus is it's on Coinbase. Tons of liquidity, U.S. money. Means that if there's good news or like something, they get something out of the park, shoot up. It's one. If you're gonna dollar cost into it, it's pretty cheap right now. NFTs are dead in the water. This is when you invest. This is when you invest. When NFTs are fucking garbage and it's trash, it's a rip off. This is when you buy. Nobody wants to buy. Everyone wants to buy one. Like, God damn! Oh my God! Look at this crazy shit. That's what we were telling you guys. Get into Polkadot, get into Kusama. When the prices were like $5, $10, when Kusama was like literally like $30. You still can make a lot of money on these things too, but you gotta play it more like or play it more long term, right? Everyone wants to make a quick buck, but if you play it more longer term, you're gonna win.
Yeah.
Fucking Daniel.
Yeah, I'm so not diversified. I can barely even keep up with you guys' conversation.
Are you all hexed?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, it's all good. At some point, like, I mean, obviously, do what you want to do, but like, just holding a little ETH here and there, not a terrible idea, dude.
Yeah, I got enough for gas.
Yeah, I tell you, whatever you have for gas, double it, bro, just in case, dude.
I know, that's the thing. Like, you have no idea what they could be doing. Luckily, it's down right now, but it's just like,
that's the beauty of where the market, how far it's come, right? Because when I first got into it in 2016, there was like, kind of 5 or 6 kind of legit projects amongst just the whole sea of just terribleness. And then now it's like, oh, there's actually like a good, very high, solid number of plays that you can make in this market space now. And there's a whole ton of different ways that didn't exist before. So I say like now is like probably a golden time in this market space when we've moved from like being super bleeding edge now to like more early adopter-ish.
There's going to be one more dip this year. One more, okay? It's probably in September, okay? Because it has to do with taxes, okay? So we're going to get a nice run up. We're going to start building up. We're going to run up. Then we're going to get a dip. That's the last one right there. If you ever got your bags packed, there's still opportunities to buy, but that's the when you really pack up and you really get some coins in you if you're going to get some coins for next year. But watch out for September, okay?
September, guys, that's the Lambo Fund time.
Yeah.
Just build that Lambo Fund.
Yeah, it's also the time when a lot of people's what do you call it? Unemployment benefits run out. A lot of people get kicked out of their houses around that time. And the other thing too is if you look at when people can extend taxes out, usually in the United States, April 15th is when you do your taxes. It get extended out to May 15th, and then if you got an extension, it goes to September 15th. So it's tax day. So I bet you a lot of people are going to probably paying some money on that at that time. Yeah.
Well, they had to calculate their taxes due for May, even though they could wait to file in September, so that we may or may not see that. Would we?
Say that again.
So you have to pay your taxes by the due date, even though you file later.
Yeah, you file first, and so you just file and you file for an extension, basically.
Yeah, but you got to pay them up front if you owe any taxes.
Yeah. Well,
otherwise you pay interest and penalty.
Not if you get an extension. It's after the extension, and then from there you work with them. Well, I can't pay the taxes. Obviously, I'm not a tax consultant, so please don't take what I'm saying with, please say with the fucking biggest grain of salt in the fucking world. But basically, you get an extension of your taxes, and then from there, if you let's just say, okay, if you're frank with the tax person, you're like, okay, I don't have the money to pay my taxes right now, so you are not avoiding taxes. You're actually because you're going to the tax consultant or the person that does your taxes. You're telling them, okay, let's work a plan here. Because you're working a plan, you're not going to be put in jail. You're not going to be in trouble because you're not trying to dodge the federal government for taxes. You're just telling them, like, fuck, bro, I don't got it right now. Then can we set up some sort of a monthly plan or a bi-weekly plan or something? It's like, yeah, okay, here you go, Mr. Dave Dodge. Pay $500 every week or every 2 weeks or every month and stuff, and that'll cover up the what you can't pay. Okay, thank you. And then you just move on with your life. That's how you get out of trouble. As long as what they hate is you trying to stiff them and fuck them over. That's what they hate. It's like, but if you go to the tax places and you're like, hey, dude, I literally can't. I'm like, I can't. Can we work something out? They'll work a 2, 3, 5 year plan. As long as you pay them, they'll get you on a plan.
We're also going to see some pretty interesting stuff happening with some of the COVID repercussions, right? With another stimulus package, but then especially towards the end of the year, right, when the forbearance periods start ending and that stimmy money starts drying up. It's gonna be really, at least in the States, right? It's gonna be really, really interesting economic climate that we're gonna see. Be curious to see what that does to the market.
What would be happening globally to jinx some of that stuff in September?
What do you mean?
Was there any global events that would synchronize with a dip in September?
Well, not September, but in October. You got a meeting of the Mount Gox trustees in Japan in October. So knowing these, I mean, like, it's such a weird thing. They should just be like the honestly, it would be really cool if the Japanese government says, hey, we're going to buy all this Bitcoin off these guys. Cool. OTC it or something. Or like, or like, hey, we're the Mount Gox trustee. Can we OTC deal a lot of the exchanges around the world? Can we sell this to the OTC desks? And then, or people said, hey, we're OTCing all this BTC. We will not sell it on the market. We only sell it to private investors who are going to hold it for a year or longer. They did some really smart shit like that. People would be less pissed off. And then this should have been resolved such a long time ago. It's so stupid. So stupid. There's so many ways, but like they legally have to sell from it. So it's really, really dumb, Yeah.
Well, making something that's straightforward and totally sensical. Why would we want to do that? No.
No, right. Well, they like
Congress can't do that.
Right. They like having control of the market in order to dip it when they want to.
Right.
They love it. It's yes, we got something here. Why wouldn't Japan want to keep the fucking Bitcoin? It's so much power. Like if they like Japan was one of the first nations to really embrace cryptocurrencies. They know how much power that is, controlling that much Bitcoin. It's a couple 100,000 BTC. Like, dude, what? If Japan, if I was Japan, I'd take that shit in a second. I'd go turn on my yen machine. Go. Here you go. Thank you. And put that in the treasury next to the Imperial Palace.
A big Bitcoin flash drive.
Yeah, I've got the Imperial jewels right here, and then I got the treasure.
Yeah, the king wears it around his neck.
Say something for us who ate dinner down 80%. Was going to have a consult with you about trying to get the project. Wait, having this project done before class. Well, you're fine. It's just hold on. Don't sell your coins at bad prices. Dollar cost where you can. The market's not over. If you're always in doubt of what to buy, Ethereum's pretty good. You know what I mean? You can't really lose with like getting into Ethereum. And sign up to the course.
Yeah, for real.
think
Get in there, guys. There's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
A lot. But also too, it's that community where you get like a ton of guys in there, and all they're doing is talking specific projects. So you're going to get a whole lot. Like DCC and Charlie, they're going to do a lot of really cool stuff with just covering different projects and walking through it, but also walking through different strategies. But then when you really start going hog wild and customizing your strategies, and you're talking to a ton of different people in the Telegram, that's really where you get an exponential amount of value outside of what you already paid for. Because again, you're in the Telegram group for, I don't know, till you guys shut it down, but pretty much till the end of time.
But we're not going to shut it down. We kept those groups open for you guys in order to keep talking to your class and stuff. But it's everyone's growing at different paces and stuff like that. But it's a great place. And too, there's sometimes there's points that brought to my attention that I didn't even know what was going on. For someone in the chat, it's impossible for any one person to know exactly what's going on everywhere, right? So everyone becomes each other's eyes and ears, and then becomes each other's crutches. You know what I mean?
We all benefit from the hive mind and the contributions that everyone throws in there in the comments.
And the memes, guys. There's some fire memes going through the chat. So at the very least, you'll get the entertainment out of it.
Yeah.
Someone made like a fucking gift of me like waving the Harry Potter wand or some shit. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I was just gonna make a comment on that because usually these type of groups, because it was kind of funny because the way I discovered Charlie initially, and also how I discovered you, DCC, was through John's course. So I signed up for John's course, and then that's when, like, in the course he would say, like, I do this crypto show every Wednesday. So then I started watching. You were on there. Charlie was on there. So then I started watching Charlie's channel more than you were on his channel. So usually like in these groups, like, okay, the material that you teach, that's valuable in and of itself, because I don't think anyone's ever lost money with the advice you've given, but it's also, you don't know who you're going to meet. So it's the networking that's so valuable.
Yeah.
Is Bombadil still alive? I think he is. Yeah. I like the dude. He's cool, but yeah, he kind of went off the deep end a little bit. It's a cool dude though. Yeah, sorry about that, Ari. No, thank you so much. I appreciate it. But yeah, it's you're gonna meet really cool people, and then you just dive into the rabbit hole, and it leads you into more rabbit holes, more rabbit holes, more rabbit holes. You know, I mean, just take action. You know, I'm actually gonna have this this webinar on luck, actually, and stuff, and like it's gonna be sort of like a thing where like you getting together with a couple guys from the course here and stuff. For all you guys know, you guys could have a big channel or a big source, something pretty big, just from meeting up with the guys and doing all kinds of stuff, or just finding your passion, or because of the stuff that you learned in this course and stuff and everything like that, you could end up funding something crazy, and you could have a really big business one day in the future from something that the starter capital you got from this. You don't know where your lives can go, you know? Only up and to the right, basically. But do you guys have any final questions before I end the stream?
How much are you sacrificing?
Huh? How much am I sacrificing?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good amount. It's a good amount. I'm going in heavy. I'm going in heavy.
I hear you there.
Yeah, I'm going in heavy. I just got a bit of a strategy. I'll talk a little bit about more in the course and stuff like that. I don't want to blow the whole wad and everything on that, but like it's a good amount. I mean, it's more than 6 figures, that's for sure.
King Kong level of aping.
Yeah, with Godzilla on top of it.
All right, you guys. Yeah, we can have a good night. All right.
All right, you too. It's great.
Stay safe,
great
man.
Chatting.
Good talking.
Thanks a lot, BTC. Peace out.
And we're still live on YouTube.
I know, right?
I can run myself.
Right? So I'm gonna be taking over as the new host of Dollar Cost Crypto Show. Big Wingman. Nice to meet y'all. I'm not like in the old shows, like in the '90s, right, where there's like the main show, and then like after that, like some after-hours show would like pop on with some, like when Jamie Hawks used to host a show called Vibe, came on at like 11 o'clock, like, or like 11:30 after like all the main TV shows and everything went off, and it's like, oh, here's like the after hours thing with some random person. We could totally do that.
All right, and don't forget, use the link in the chat right here. cultivatecrypto.com/products over here. Crypto Mindset Q3 is for sale right now. It's only for sale up until Tuesday at midnight, you guys. So join up, get the hope or get the rope. Later.
Deuces.